Hey guys, RichGonga, back to bring you some more Starcraft 2 1v1 action on the Shattered Temple. I know I have not cast in a little while, I do apologize, just been quite busy. Anyway, we will get to the action now. And spawning on the left hand side as the red Terran will be Houseal, who was nice enough to send this replay in for me. On the right side as the blue Zerg, we will have MBH. And this again will be Shattered Temple. One Zelnaga in the middle. Probably a good idea to command that, particularly if you're going to spawn cross position as these two have, as you will be able to see any kind of advance coming up through the middle. If you do try and take some air around the outside, come up through here, it does take quite a deal longer to get up there, and if your opponent has any idea that you are going air, you will in fact have to deal with it. You will have time to deal with it. So it does look like we will see a supply depot going down in standard position for Houseal to wall off. That is a good idea since he will be facing a Zerg. Not sure if we will have any scouting just yet. MBH is going to know that he hasn't spawned up here and is going to start sending his overlord the other way. This overlord is making his way very slowly down to this corner. It will be quite a while before he is spotted. However, this drone is going to cut down significantly on that time. Houseal throwing down a barracks. He will be throwing down another supply depot, so he is walled off. MBH actually not going to scout that drone, going to go ahead and 15 hatch into a fast expand. Going to also be taking his first gas before spawning pool. Interesting choice from him. Not exactly sure if he's going to be ready if Houseal decides to go with the 3 racks or something along those lines. I do not see a gas yet. We are up to 15 with the 16th SCV queued. So Houseal does have a couple Marines on the way. And we do have this SCV who's going to start scouting out. See exactly what's going on. He will scout this point second. But MBH will have a couple of Zerglings by that time, I would imagine. Maybe not quite, but Houseal will know that he has in fact expanded. And that will give him a rough idea of where he needs to be if he wants to put early pressure on. He should do it relatively soon, particularly with these Marines. We do have a second racks going down for Houseal. This overlord is just chilling out here. He decided he's not going to make that trip. And is Houseal going to see the timing? He doesn't see the hatch spawn, but he does in fact know that he has expanded. Spawning pool just now finished. MBH I could see getting 2 queens, but he probably wants to get a Zergling relatively soon. Houseal is going to know that this expansion has finished. Are we going to see a transfer? I don't see a transfer just yet, but we do have a couple of Lings on the way to go ahead and deal with this SCV. Houseal setting up a bunker out here. Rather ballsy on his part. He does have 3 Marines on their way over to start dealing with this. If this bunker can finish before these Lings get out, he is going to be in great shape. However, these Lings are out and they are going to start going after this bunker immediately. And SCV jumps inside the bunker. That's what he wants to do. However, these Marines need to get inside this bunker if they want to do any kind of significant damage. They do jump in the bunker. He probably wants to pull the SCV out and start repairing. He does get these Marines inside the bunker. MBH definitely wants to check that. Going to start possibly harassing this queen a little bit. But first he is going to repair this bunker all the way up. We do have another Marine, another 2 Marines making their way down. You probably want to go ahead and jump in there. That was a bad rally point from MBH. He definitely doesn't want to give away free Lings like that. He does throw down a spine crawler though. It's exactly what he wants to do as a Zerg in this situation. Throw down a couple of spine crawlers and prevent any further advancement of these bunkers. However, the creep will also help in that. Oh, need to be careful with that SCV. Don't want to lose that. And he's going to try and put some pressure on these spine crawlers. Maybe a little bit of pressure on this queen. However, they're going to fall back to the bunker and be just fine. MBH now possibly regretting the decision. He needs to start getting Lings out immediately. He does have Roach Warren on the way, that is a great idea from him. Houseal throwing down 2 more bunkers. This queen taking massive amounts of damage. She needs to be careful with that. This queen making her way down, but decides that she's going to turn around and make the long journey all the way back home. Particularly long for a queen. MBH does have quite a bit of resources, and he does have roaches on the way. It's exactly what he's going to need to deal with all these Marines and bunkers. These Marines are going to start putting some pressure on. These roaches not quite going to march in there just yet. They are going to try and going to snipe the queen. Oh, he needs to be careful with that. These roaches are going to start marching down, but they are taking significant damage, losing a ton of Marines. However, he does have quite a few Marines. I don't know why Houseal decided it was a good idea to attack his own bunker. He definitely doesn't want to do that. This spine crawler poking away and poking away. He needs to be careful. He cannot come up with the units as fast as MBH can. I do believe he has just the number of roaches he needs to deal with this. He is losing quite a few. He needs to start focusing down this bunker if he wants to deal with it. However, this second bunker laying down a ton of damage on this particular roach. He needs to be careful. Going to move this spine crawler dangerously close to the bunkers. Both of them moving their way up. Does look like this bunker is going to fall. A bunch of lings, and MBH is in fact going to be able to hold this out just fine, as he is going to clean up the rest of what's there. However, these Marines need to check their rally point and come all the way back home. And what does he have going on behind it? We do have a factory with a tech lab up and a couple pumping more Marines to come out for defense, and a third rack's going up for Houseal. Does not have a second gas yet, so he probably wants to get that gas up. And now an alarming number of lings making their way to the Zalnaga and now across the map. This Marine is going to hate his life in about right now because it does not exist anymore. These Marines are going to have the day of their lives if Houseal just pulls a couple of SCVs and starts repairing. MBH going to start throwing down a lot of damage on these supply depots. However, he's going to back out as he realizes that a couple of SCVs repairing these supply depots will put an end to that little rush. And he is going to leave these lings out here for a little bit of harassment, make it quite difficult to expand. He is going to throw down a bunker right here, as he does have one there, so he's not going to be able to run up into Houseal's main like he was hoping he'd be able to. However, MBH is in good shape as he is on 2 base to Houseal's 1. However, MBH does not have a second gas either. Quite an interesting choice from these players, as I have not seen a whole lot of units that are gas heavy, just a couple of roaches who are absolutely hating this rock. They need this thing to fall right now, they say. So they are spitting all kinds of acid slime all over it. These two spine crawlers doing their job, just sitting at home waiting for something to poke its head up. And we do have a creep highway now connecting the natural with the main base. This one ling has speed. I did not realize ling speed was completed, but he is going to hate his life trying to run up that ramp, as a failure and a half for him. These two overlords, they're just chilling back here because they're buddies, and why the hell not? It does look like MBH is going to try and take a third relatively soon. This ling's going to start poking his head around, see exactly what's going on. Not too much happening right now. If I was Houseal, I'd probably start thinking of my own expansion or Banshee play. Does he have the cloak yet? He does not, but he does have his second gas up finally and a supply depot going up, so he does not get supply cap. Couple of Hellions. I'm liking this choice from Houseal. He does have this Banshee out on the field. The only thing that can deal with it at the time are these queens. However, he does have an evolution chamber. I can imagine that MBH, even if he hasn't seen it, can kind of imagine that there is going to be Banshee play coming soon. He does know that there's a Banshee on the field from that attack. So I can see a couple of spore crawlers going down. There goes one and another one. And maybe a few over at the expansion. There goes another one. He is taking his third. So he does in fact know that there is going to be air on the field, and the threat of cloaked Banshees is imminent. So now he is pulling all his lings back, because they will not do much against Banshees because they cannot attack air. And we do have Houseal building up a pretty sizable force here. Not exactly sure if MBH is going to have the composition to deal with this. He has quite a few roaches, however. That will do quite a bit of damage. However, just a couple of Banshees in the front to take out these spine crawlers would be an amazing idea. 5 kills on this one spine crawler. He is definitely doing his job. Houseal throwing a scan down to see exactly what's going on. I'm not sure if Houseal knows about the third yet. He has no idea about the third. These lings are going to try and make their way across the map. They're going to touch the tower and continue on. However, they do not want to get anywhere close to this ball because they will lose their lives very quickly. And they are... one ling just gets absolutely obliterated. He does not want to go back up in there. His friend's saying, yeah, screw that, we're not getting involved. Now building a creep highway to his third base. which I could see he probably wants to get some drones up there relatively soon. Even with these 3 bases, I'm not seeing the drone count I would like to out of MBH. He's only at 21 drones. And at 13 minutes into the game, the 3rd base is an awesome place to be. However, if you are a Zerg player, you definitely want this number up. You want way more than 20 drones mining. And we do have Hellions now. Going to start poking around, start putting some pressure on MBH. And Houseal with quite a sizable force. I'm not sure if MBH is going to be able to hold this off. Pulling back into the spine crawlers. Houseal does have a good arc. However, these roaches are falling so fast. We do have marauders in the mix, throwing down tons of damage on them. These banshees going unchecked. Not a single unit is attacking them. He is going to be able to take down this expansion quite easily without any kind of force repelling him. However, we do have 6 mutas on the way. But there's just so many Marines, I'm not 100% sure if the mutas are going to be able to do the damage they need to against these Marines. They do have stims, so this is not going to be a good position for Houseal to be in. However, 1 muta is up there, and they are going to start flying around, taking damage unnecessarily. Losing these drones. MBH has left the game. He decides that there's just too many Marines to deal with. He is not going to be able to pull it off. Quite an interesting choice. MBH finally got his 2nd gas, but I think it was a little bit too late for the Banshees. And again, for all those Zerg players out there, if you are on 3 base, you do not want 24 drones. 24 drones should be 1 base. You want that to be at least 60 if you have 3 bases. At least 60, possibly a little bit more. But far be it from me. I am not a professional. Just from what I know, you want this to be up so your income can be up and you can support it. Anyway, I've talked long enough. I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and I will see you guys next time.